invite Tony to come up and give evaluations of our topics today.
Madam Toastmaster, hello Toastmasters, and our guest as well, even Gavin. We had a different way of going about the table topics tonight, and as Sonia mentioned, she wanted to use the example set by Peter a few weeks ago. And I'm going to start off with this, because one of the whole things about table topics is about really getting us on our toes, it's about impromptu speaking. And the issue I have with this approach to table topics is it almost takes away from being impromptu speaking, because then some people have got as long as 15 minutes to think about how am I going to respond to this, and then it's not so impromptu. So I don't particularly like this approach, but it's brave to try new things, and I definitely applaud trying new things. So the question was, imagine you have the opportunity to have dinner with someone dead or alive, tell us who it is and why. Now the first speaker came up and he was a bit dodgy, picked some very unsavoury characters, and I happen to know he used to be in the Boy Scouts, and one of the mottos of the Boy Scouts is always be prepared, and he clearly wasn't prepared, so that's definitely, I would take away his wobble if he was Our second speaker was, I'm not sure actually how it's pronounced, is it Kashini or Keshni?
Kashni, Kesh, whoever.
Okay.
She's not sure herself.
What the hell, she mentioned. She said about Donald Trump. And she said that would be one of her guests. And I was thinking, well, surely you're going to poison his food. What would you have given him for his dinner? And you mentioned about ABBA. Sing one of their songs. But you, great smile. Love your smile up here. You look like you're enjoying it, which is great to enjoy, you know, coming up on stage. And it was great as well that Denise helped you to extend your time, because you kind of felt, you obviously feeling a bit nervous, and you said a couple of things, you said about Donald Trump and ABBA, and then boom, you almost wanted to run off. And Denise leapt in, asked you a couple of questions, which was great, and you responded. So that was excellent. And Denise did that a few times, I thought that was really good. We then moved on to Chris, and what a great voice he's got. So the clarity, he's got the makings of an excellent speaker, really excellent speaker. I love this choice of people that he'd have dinner with. Boris Johnson, well, I'm not so keen on Boris Johnson, but Jimi Hendrix and Confucius, wow, that would be some meal. I would pay money to be at that. I'd chuck Boris out, but I'd be I'd like to know more, what was it you liked, but why Confucius, why Jimi Hendrix? Forget Donald, forget Boris, but yeah, definitely confident speaker, he's going to be excellent. Charles, interesting fact, we found out he's born on January the 3rd, same day as Michael Schumacher. What year? Was it the same year? What country? But there was, I'd love to have heard you speak longer, because you clearly have got something to say. You're a bit nervous up here, which is understandable, it's the reason we all join. But I'd like to hear you just speak a bit longer. Maybe if you're struggling with something to say, get some audience participation, maybe ask some questions of people in the audience. We then moved on to Gagan, and he also had Donald on his mind, and he's been radicalised by Donald. Gagan gave the perfect example of how to deliver a table topic. He was so poised, confident, clarity, turned it on his head a couple of times. Only problem, he even used the word of the day, but the big problem with Gagan tonight was it was too short. For someone as great as Gagan, I wanted to hear way more. But it was an excellent response to a table topic. And red light's about to come on, so that's my lot.